Hey, you are along for the ride with the Mad Dog and Cole. Hey, Farrell,
All beaches should be racetracks.
sing it, preach.
I decided to fly through the air and live in the sunlight and enjoy life as much as I could, and that's just what I'm doing.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Man, thank you so much, Mr. Evil Knievel, for those inspiring words. Let's all take a minute, take an hour, listen to Along for the Ride, live in the sunlight, enjoy life, do what you want to do.
And of course, we couldn't do what we wanted to do if it wasn't for our first responders, let alone the men and women of this military fighting for our freedom right here at the home front, all across the world. Got to thank everybody who's involved in that. Lets us do this podcast.
Amen. Amen. Great respect for our service people and our first responders for sure. And speaking of great respect for our partners, Bomber Eyewear, the floating eyewear. Find them at bombereyewear.com. If you get to watch this when it hits YouTube, compliments of Kelsey Morrell film, you will notice I am now wearing a blue mirrored Boogie Bomb limited edition monoseries.
Ooh.
Yes, with the still OSHA approved safety lens, and they're polarized. So these are my new next favorites. I'm still stuck on my old favorites, but I want to change it up a bit. So I haven't got to wear these since Desert Storm. So
Let's call it the look of the summer.
yeah, loving it, ma'am. And of course, Kicker Performance Audio, man, couldn't get along without them. Find them at kicker.com. All your automotive, boat, motorcycle, off-road, personal audio needs, whatever you need. If you want the best, check them out, kicker.com. Of course, our boy Cole at the Premix Podcast, sharing his passion for all things desert through the lens and the mic. You can also get him on the mic for your event. Hit him up at the Premix Podcast on Instagram. That's the @ symbol, ThePremixPodcast, all one word. Book him out now. He's filling up. Of course, Kelsey Morrell Film will be getting all our podcasts up as she works through the editing process, which is not easy, by the way, especially on the video side, because, I always look like shit. So, yeah, thank you, Kelsey. Find her on Instagram for all your commercial videography, photography, and video production needs at Kelsey Morrell Film. Dude. Hey,
Dude.
Yo.
What?
What you doing? What are you doing?
You got a new accent. Why did you get a new accent?
So exciting, man. I got to be a part of the inaugural Red Bull Beach Scramble on the beautiful, unbelievably nice shores of New Jersey, North Wildwood, New Jersey, right at Maury's Pier. Set up a 1.94-mile racetrack on the beach.
Dude, that's all. So much to get into, but
oh yeah,
hosting a race on a beach in America in today's lawyer happy world.
Yes.
Golf clap to Red Bull for pulling that off. They did it here in Huntington Beach with our straight rhythm, and now they're doing it on the East Coast with the UTV guys. Golf clap.
Yeah, and that's the same activation company that does all that stuff for Red Bull, States and Kingdoms, based out of Reno, Nevada. I've been fortunate enough to work with them several times. Awesome dudes, awesome dudes, and amazing reputation for doing things and doing things right and good. And I'm really blessed to be a part of it. And you can't see this on the podcast,
Ooh,
but that's their logo.
more apparel that you can't buy.
Yes, correct. And that one is saturated with Jersey Shore sweat and sand also. So, party bonus because I wore it most of the time because it's quite warm, believe it or not.
Huh.
And it keeps the sun off your head, which is it being warm and keeping the sun off your head can be good, but it can also be bad if there's no wind because you get sweaty balls. No, sweaty head. So anyway, yeah, man, just amazing. They flew me out Tuesday before the race. Um, my duties were basically vehicle fleet manager, anything that I could do operational wise as far as setup or help or logistics, and then head of security because you can imagine on the Jersey Shore when you're shutting down a section of public beach, safety and security is a major priority. Um, and Wildwood had an event over a year ago with tuner type cars where somebody had lost it, I believe, in a burnout competition or something, and ended up striking three people and with fatalities. So they were very nervous. My job was to make sure that didn't happen and we didn't have any issues. Um, Man, that operations team just just slayed. Those guys are beasts. Some guys I've worked with before, um, and some guys I hadn't worked with before, but we became famous friends quick. It was pretty cool. We're in this little tiny um, old hotel motel type thing where every door opened to the balcony. Um, and they had every room. I think there was 19 rooms, and they had every room.
Oh,
So
perfect. Good for parties.
yeah, and there was plenty of that, and I'll get into that at some point. Seth Quintero. Um, so yeah, dude, no, it was amazing. Like we got in and just started building racetrack. Dave Butts and his track crew, um, Andy and Matt McCall, man, just freaking killed it. Those guys are just animals on equipment, nonstop, sunrise to sunset. I mean, till it was too dark to work. Uh, Getting the track built, getting it packed. They lost 2.5 days before we got there because of rain.
Damn.
There was areas we had to go down to a beach further south, about a half mile further south down the beach for all the equipment to get in and everything. And there was an area there that was even when I got there, like Wednesday, I got to work. I flew all day Tuesday, um, and then we flew into Philly. So there was four of us that met up in Philly, and then ran out to the hotel. So we got there about midnight, and then up early in the morning, get her done, start doing what we do and what those guys do, and it's just unbelievable. Super Mario was there, um, and so got his rig set up trackside, and that's always the host and VIP area. It was really cool. Maurice Pier was really graceful in allowing three of their giant elevated I don't know what you'd call them, like gazebos, I guess, really cool, and put those in the VIP area for elevation for the fans. And there was a real tall one that they used for race control, which was pretty cool. Um, man, just gnarly. Like the stuff that goes into it, is just incredible. Like they're building track, the rental companies in putting fence in. Um, our team is doing scrim on the fence as they're getting it put up. I mean, it's build, 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 just wide open every day.
Yeah, down to the final minutes, huh?
Yes, yes, and going through security schedules and all that, um, and hoping that all the guards show up. And I was very fortunate. The security company that we worked with, was thoughtful enough to have the same day and night supervisors throughout the whole event, start to finish. So that was nice because after day one, those guys knew what I expected and had a good feel for who I was and what I did.
Yeah, just more symbiotism. What's the word I'm looking for? More, I don't know, more consistency,
Yeah,
which obviously
simpatico.
leads to smoother operation, safer operation.
Yep, yep. So, and of course, as assets got put out and et cetera like that, then more security every day, more people, more personnel, more control as we started to lock the area down that where the track was and control who was in and out. It was it was super rad. The day before the race, so Friday, we it wasn't really a dry run, but it was a dry run, a test run for me, which was superb as a head of security, because when you do make a run like that, it gives you the opportunity to see where where you need to improve and adjust for that before race morning.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool. I was able to make some adjustments based off of that. Basically, they closed it down for press day when our good friend Seth and Mitch Guthrie and Mia Chapman and AJ Jones all took press around in Red Bull branded vehicles and their race cars, two
Oh,
seat race
sweet.
cars. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And you know, Seth and Mitchie were looking. I think they were testing. Like
Okay.
it was supposed to be a media ride, but I think they were testing.
That's because they're world class racers and they seize every opportunity to find an advantage.
100%. And so is AJ. I think Mia was driving the four seat a few times, so that you know not uh, X3 turbo four seater is not the best short course car.
No, nothing short about it.
No, no. Um, yeah, that BF Goodrich Red Bull Wolverine uh, Can Am is a beautiful car though. Did a beautiful job on it. So, dude, just yeah, just craziness, bro. I mean, it's insane. Every time you look around, you're like, I can't believe we're doing this. Like that pier down there has a roller coaster. This pier has roller coasters and water slides. The next pier has roller coasters, and Maury's Pier sticks. Literally, the race course was built around the end of the pier.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it was just crazy sick. I mean, you're just thankful to God every minute you're looking around for being able to do something like that, especially of that caliber in that place, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I
like,
mean, it's hard enough to hold a race on a private cornfield or something.
yes,
So to have it in a literally world famous location, pretty big deal.
yeah, and there was I tried not to let it show, but that leads to a lot of pressure and a lot of responsibility for the guy responsible for keeping the perimeters secure and keeping racers safe as well as fans, So
Absolutely.
um, I did a lot of driving around. I had Red Bull has now done their deal with Can-Am, so I had Can-Am Commander 700, um, which honestly I wouldn't own, but the 1,000 that they had there, the 1,000 RR, was a fun car. On the level of the General for sure, without a doubt. Maybe better. Um,
Yeah, the
but
700 is not quite enough for you. I
no, when you're running in four high all the time and you're in the sand, and that sand is weird, dude. Like
was going
the
to ask
rate,
you about that.
oh yeah, it would fluff up, but as soon as it fluffed up, it was like throwing out an anchor if you got in the fluff, like just
Like really
gnarly.
dense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
holds water.
yep, yeah. High silica content. Uh, Little known fact: they have they build the beakers here.
The
They built
what?
the beakers because that's where they get the sand. We have the perfect silica content. In this white sand here, it's the perfect silicon content to build beakers.
What's a beaker?
Didn't you ever go to science class, dude?
Oh, those kind of beakers.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was some Jersey slang for something. I'm like, all right.
No,
Oh, okay.
that's what Twommy, the beach services manager, told me in a casual conversation one day.
Oh,
Uh,
well, okay. Well,
yeah,
thanks, Jersey Shore, for science class beakers
right.
and
So
race courses. Yeah.
yeah, dude. I mean, there's just so many highlights. Like I mean, just it was so cool to be around so many of my friends, and I gotta stop right now before I get carried away, and give a special shout out to the entire S&K um, ops team, because these guys crushed it. And Tess and Eric, the owners of States and Kingdoms, um, dude, just rad dudes. So glad they brought me in. Of course, but the general is the general. I mean, if you want the job done, put him on it, right? Uh, Angela is just does all the logistics for traveling and food and hotels, and um, amazing kid, so much fun, and just bust her butt. Uh, Couple of the new guys I met, Richard and Riley. And just for you two, because you promised me you'd listen, Richard, Riley. So there you go. Um, Ethan, Andy, Matt on the dozer and the skid. Um, Snowman. He had some other stuff. He often runs, like, coordinates boneyard and a bunch of stuff. Just a beast, and bust butt, and always doing, runs all heavy equipment. And Riley ran a lot of the heavy equipment. Super rad dude. Of course, Adam, and then Jeff. Jeff's just a beast, and thank you, Jeff, for the ride from the airport, dude. It was nice to just sit in the back, and thanks for choosing the Grand Caravan Limited, or whatever, Chrysler. What's the Chrysler version?
Oh, not the
Pacifica.
Pacifica, is it?
Yeah, yeah. Pacifica Limited. Didn't have heated seats, or did it? Might have, in the back, but it had buckets, and so it was pretty rad, man. We all got together. We met at National. Um, Bada boom, bada bing, on the road. So,
Yeah. And what's
uh,
that like not to have to drive?
dude, it was rad. Like, I mean, it was dark, so there wasn't a lot of traffic. But then Butts drove. I rode with Butts to the airport, and there was some traffic, but still, I got to ride, right, instead of drive. So that was pretty freaking cool. Um, yeah, it was a good time. From the time they picked me up, man, we just got to meet, some new people right off the get go, and guys that I've worked with at the sand scramble in Glamis and just Sheldon. Those guys are animals. I mean, they are some of the best without a doubt.
Yeah,
For
it sounds like there's no weak links on that team, just from
negative.
what I've heard from you.
Yes. Yeah, I mean they just there's double coverage if somebody has an issue or somebody gets wrapped up in something, there's double coverage. Somebody else can jump into whatever they were doing, be it the big fork or a skiddy or just pulling fence tight, whatever, and nobody's afraid to jump in and help someone else out. And those guys, I wouldn't consider the race on my end and my duties a success without the help of those guys and those guys support and backup, and just knowing that even when the race is going and like they're out there flagging corners and stuff, that their eyes out, just everywhere, right? Just helping me, and I'm driving around as much as I can and walking around, and I hold my head high. I'm very proud to say we had no breaches, no security issues on race day. No one got hurt. Very successful and exciting race day. And, shout out to that security crew. Some of them didn't like the way I did things, but they did it my way, because I told them to. And, man, I mean, we just aced it. There's definitely things, because it's a first time event, um, that for next year I'll know, I get a jump on this, or,
For sure.
bring a couple extra people in or whatever. Um, there's so many factors there because you have Tommy, the beach services manager, that would look at, um, how he wanted accesses done and stuff like that, and midstream, like, change it. And so you got to roll with that, because those guys hold the yes and no card, right?
Right. You don't want to piss
So,
them off because you want to come
right.
back. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And the state patrol, NJ State Patrol, held a monstrous amount of control over that beach. And shout out to Matt. I never did get his last name, but he was a head trooper, and he was super easy to work with. He changed plans a couple times. We were able to roll with it and adapt. And some of it we were able to actually get ahead of um, before he brought it up. And that makes you feel good to go, oh, that's already been covered. So, um, yeah, mentally exhausting, physically awesome. Um, dude, yeah, it's just what a great event. And then the racing, I didn't get to see a lot of the racing, but they were going for it. I think we had somewhere around 48 pros and
wow.
50, I want to say 54 or 56 Joes or
Very
sportsmen.
nice. Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah. So, and the pros were going for it. The sportsmen were going for it. Sportsmen were going what seemed like extra hard just because they didn't have the pro level talent, right? Um, and no offense, they'll get there, right? But you're talking about guys that race Dakar and girls that race Baja, um, and girls that race Crandon. And I mean, you know,
Yeah.
there's a separation there, and there's a reason.
Well, there's probably people who signed up in the sportsman class that have been going to the Jersey Shore all their life and they've only wanted to drive cars on it. And
Yep.
now you throw them in a cage car and they're going to go 100,000%.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And you could tell there was some hot shoes that maybe are like, the champions at their local regional track or whatever, that came out and ran sportsman. And you know what? More power to them. They know, okay, well, you know, I can run for 15th with the pros, or I could run top five with the sportsmen. So I'm certainly not going to hate on anybody for making a run at it.
For what it's worth, the numbers ended up pretty even, so that's good.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, the racing was good, and I don't remember what day it was. I think might have been Wednesday. I was outside. Uh, we got back, had dinner, got back to the hotel. Um, and I was outside having a smoky snack and heard some noise up on the second floor, which I was on the second floor. And now that it's over, ha ha, I was in room 205 back in the corner. Ha. Anyway, um, so yeah, up on the second floor, I look up and it's Seth, and I'm like, "Hey, keep it down up there." And he turns around and, Laura, get up here. So I went and hung out. They're having a little party. I went to bed, I think, about 11, maybe midnight, and they were still going. But they only woke me up once. So, I think they were stealing the furniture from the balcony in front of my place. Um, but nonetheless, good times. We had Mario and Seth and some of the Red Bull people, and AJ was there, and 4x4 Barbie is her handle, and of course Mia was hanging out having fun. Her dad was there. I haven't got to see Joe in a long time, and so was her little brother, who actually did really well in the sportsman class.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah. And then at the hotel, and then Van Beekham's were there. I don't know where they were staying, um, but it was super cool to see Bobby and Ryder, Ryder Chapman, and Ryder Van Beekham, and Meredith Van Beekham. When I met the first time I met Ryder Van Beekham, he was still in diapers in his dad's arms at Muzzy's, and it would have been probably '09. And now he's winning races in turbo cars.
How crazy, huh?
It's nuts. So
Time's literally flying. Yeah.
yeah, I had a nice opportunity. I had met AJ before, but this week it was rad because I had several opportunities just sit down and talk to him. And
Cool.
I know that you're going to be upset that I didn't bring any sound bites home, and I got to get better about that.
You're fine.
No, you're supposed to give me shit so that I
Yeah,
won't
yeah, but you're
forget.
busy, so
Yeah. Yeah, well, a lot of times we get a little visit time, and I really should get better about doing that.
yeah, but it's so easy to ruin a good conversation to be yucking it up with someone and be like, all right, let me get a sound bite. It's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done that to Jake at least once, and he's
Most
like, no, don't. Like, I just got off the bike. Leave me alone.
Yeah, and most of those guys are pretty chill, so we had a good time. It was just cool to see so much of my race family and the ops family, and dude, we did it. I mean, we put on a race on the Jersey Shore, right?
Yeah,
And
that's crazy.
huge, huge, huge props. I mean, more than I could even mention to Tess and Eric for just, I mean, the stuff that they had to go through to get even the permission, you know. I know some of what they went through, and it made me work even harder and be more proactive, uh, on the security side to make sure that we get the invite back,
Yeah,
right? So
absolutely.
And we had a lot of cool times. Like I got to take the commander. I went down to that beach while it was still kind of to the other beach. What? Oh, I had to run down there first time to um check and see if the light alls have been dropped off yet. And then I had to make a run a little later to check on something else, piece of equipment. Uh, and it was sloppy, dude. I was so grateful to have my bomber eyewear with the safety lenses because I was slinging globs of mud into my face and yeah, it was.
Well,
I don't know if you saw my Instagram story.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty splattered and the bombers just kicked ass all week. We'd have wind and that sand to be blowing in your face and um, when we made the dry run, the shutdown for the press runs on Friday, um, I had to secure all the gates because there was construction going on at the furthest at the northernmost Maurice Pier, and so we had an access drive right across the track.
Okay.
Um, so there was a north gate, there was a northwest gate, there was a uh, central south gate, a south gate, and the southwest entrance to the pits, which you couldn't get to the track from the pits without going out and on the access road. But um, so yeah, when we got the countdown, I got, hey, Butts, come on, Mad Dog, you got 5 minutes. I need this place secured, and I that little 700 got a workout. Uh,
Yeah, I was gonna ask, how much fuel do you think you went through?
two tanks, so 16 gallons.
Yeah, and how many days?
Um, five.
You're on it.
So
Yeah, it's a little motor, but you're on it.
yeah, it was 48 miles an hour.
Wow, that's actually really surprising.
Yeah, four high, on the floor, and it surprisingly felt relatively stable. Um, yeah, so I got the call from Butts, where we need a hot racetrack in 5 minutes, so you got to get her locked down. Let me know. So, dude, that little Can-Am got a workout. I run up, closed the northwest, secured the northwest gate, um, secured the north northwest gate, went down, secured the north gate, and moved a guard that was at the north gate down to the beach because the tide was out. So there was a gap between the fence and the ocean. Um, Came back up and ran wide open across the racetrack. That's when I found out it's 48, and just hold on. But the thing was surprisingly well planted. It really did surprise me. It wasn't like all bouncing all over and stuff.
All
Uh,
sketchy.
yeah, it wasn't. I mean, wasn't really sketchy at all. And at the crossroad crossed the track probably 6 times. So not, there was areas where it was a little lower, areas where it was a little higher, and I didn't check up.
Oh, nice.
So,
Full
and
send.
yeah, full send, and got to the south central gate, got that secured, run down to the south gate, got that secured, move the guard down to the beach, um, and then called the guard back at the north gate to verify that north was secured and ready, and was able to, and that um, I was on two radios. So security company, I was on their radio, and then I had our own operations radio. Um, and I could have wore a race radio on race day, but I didn't feel like I really needed to because we had ops guys out on the track. So, um, that but it was a good dry run. I learned a couple of things from that. I'm really glad we did it. I learned the top speed of the Commander 700. Um, so it was fun. It was rad to be able to do it, and you know, some of the time I got to use X3. What's the RS?
That's the big one, or the
The big,
deluxe one. Yeah,
yeah, big two-seater. Yeah, I got to use that part of the time. Um, and when I drove it, for some reason, it seemed to use a lot of fuel. Um, so I don't know, maybe they're just not fuel efficient, but
a little quicker than the Commander.
a little bit, yes. Uh, but yeah, man, it was super, super good time, super positive experience. And I believe, even the by chance I happened to meet the like chairwoman of the Chamber of Commerce, and she was just so stoked and so happy,
Good.
and so it went off really well, and hopefully we presented well in all their eyes, and in the main racketeers, the state patrol, hopefully everything went well in their eyes. um you know and we'll find all that out, but yeah, man, super shout out to the guys that made it happen. Like those guys, I felt like, even though some of them I didn't know, I felt like by a couple days in, there wasn't anything one of those guys wouldn't do for me, and vice versa. I mean, I go in that way no matter what. Um, but you never know, and I think by like day two, we were all family, So shout out S&K Ops, um, Snowman, Riley, Richard, Jeff, uh, Ethan, Evan. Who am I missing? Ethan, Evan, Jeff. I gotta check my list. Missing one. Adam. Sorry, Adam. Got them all now. My bad. I knew there was one I was missing, so at least I'm not completely, you know. And then admins and hands on and handling the Red Bull teams and stuff. Tess, Eric, Angela, and of course Butts and McCall and Andy on the equipment and operations. Man, just beasts, just like literally unbelievably good group, and small group for as big of an event as it was. And it's just that's a true testament of how much heart and effort all those guys put in. Um, I would like give them all a slap on the back and a little gold star if I could, So yeah, super rad. So anyway, yeah,
Very cool. Are they keeping points for the scrambles? Or are they
I'm
all exhibitions?
I'm not sure because now it's a series, so I feel like they must be, but
Or maybe not this year, maybe next year.
yeah, and I expect. I mean, it's been a pretty big success this year.
Yeah.
I expect to see maybe a couple of venue changes next year, and maybe even a few more races. So, um, and any of the big ones, there's a good chance I'm going to get a call. The smaller ones, it's like they don't need someone that does what I do
Yeah, a little more
necessarily.
self-sufficient. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, um, you know, but I would love to whenever I could. Um, it's just rad, and um, man, I made the trip home. I don't know if we covered that.
Not
Yeah,
on not on the radio.
yeah, along for the ride, man. You want to come along for the ride? Yesterday, we left the hotel in Wildwood, New Jersey at 8 a.m. Eastern time. And y'all can do the math on all this. Uh,
5 Western.
went to Philly. Um, I got there a little bit early because I rode with Butts and his and the some of the ops guys who had earlier flights, so I had an extra hour there. But flew out of Philly to Denver, and then hour and 50 minutes in Denver. Arrived in Las Vegas at 6:45 roughly, and got back home to Lake Havasu at 9:30. 9:20 something actually, beating Google by 8 minutes.
So basically 16 hours door to door.
Oh yeah, I guess. See, man, you're good at the maths.
No, that was just easy. That one was that one. I got lucky, and I'm still not even sure. So
Nice. Yeah, no, it made for a long day, but what a great event and good times,
obviously hope to go back next year.
for
Fingers
sure.
crossed it's happening, but
Yep, yep.
sounds like everybody was pleased. So probably a pretty good chance.
Yeah, I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping. And then they've got the High Desert Scramble coming up here very quickly in Utah, um, in conjunction with UTV Invasion Sand Mountain. So um, they've got that going. And then I think June they have the Red Bull Solstice Scramble in Anchorage, Alaska,
That's so rad.
which I've put my name in for. I probably won't get there, but
Swing by Nome, say hi to everybody.
yeah, I'm willing to stay up all night because it's going to be light.
Uh huh.
So
Yeah.
whatever, you know. And then they have Stone Scramble after that, which is in Tennessee, same time as Sand Sports Super Show. And then, of course, the third annual Red Bull Sand Scramble in Glamis Sand Dunes in December. So
All comes back around.
yeah, catch them all on Red Bull TV. Check out the work we did to build the track and check out the track and the action. Be sure and follow Seth Quintero, Mitch Guthrie Jr., Mia Chapman, AJ Jones, all the Red Bull Off Road Junior Team people on Instagram, because they have a lot of reels and whatnot from the event, and the media team is popping on videos every day right now. So it's sick.
Did you
Um,
see Mitch's video where he ran over Seth?
yes, I did. I did.
It's easy to
That's
forget it's open wheel racing until you jump over somebody else's wheel.
right. We actually talked about that night. So um, it's pretty cool. And I did get the opportunity to talk to them and get them to commit to be on the show together.
Perfect.
And
Oh,
and AJ said he would be on.
oh wow, that'd be cool.
So that'd be really rad. Um, Mia asked me during Desert Storm when I was going to have her on, and I said very soon. Um, we've got a couple of good guests coming up that I'm working on. Um, man, we got a whole string of good guests, and we're going to just have some fun. We're going to bring you along for the ride, have some fun, have a party, and man, what do you got going, Cole?
This 2 weekends from now, Jake is back racing. It'll be that District 38 Grand Prix at Glen Helen I was talking about.
Awesome.
That's exciting. It's been literally 2 months since he's raced, so it felt like a big part of. It felt like if the show was gone for 2 months, it was like, man, keep looking at the calendar, like when the hell is this thing coming back? I'm bored,
Yeah, yeah.
And then this weekend is Knobby Night at Speedway, and what Knobby Night is they let basically all our good local guys, like our good Works guys, our good Big Six guys, Colton Udall, all the Baja guys, they let them go race around the oval on their normal dirt bikes, whether they be motocross bikes or set up for Baja. And what's so funny about that is you don't realize how fast a flat track or a speedway bike is around an oval until you see a normal motocross bike go around it. And you're like, oh, wow, the other guys
Yeah.
are really good at turning left.
Yeah, yeah.
And not touching the brakes. So yeah, that one's just comedy. It's fun. And I remember years ago, Sean Collier brought his KX 500 out, and he rode around the wall. He found the little piece of dirt between the wall and the end of the turn, and he just rode the wall. And no one can do it like Sean Collier. So I'm hoping he either comes out of retirement or somebody carries that baton and rides the wall this weekend.
Well, as it turns out, you have a KX 500.
I did have a KX 500. You didn't know this?
What?
I don't have it anymore.
We have to cover this later.
That's fine.
We have to talk.
It lives in France now.
Wow.
Yep.
There's a lot of awkward silence there. You can cut all that. Okay. We got to talk about that, bro. You really have to talk to me more.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, I there's reasons, and it's long story short, I couldn't look at it in the garage without the ability to ride it.
Understood.
Couldn't do it.
Understood. So, well,
I thought you knew.
I did not.
Oh, this starts the grieving process all over for me again.
Me too. But it's not all over. It's fresh.
Well, back
Okay.
for me. Okay, all right. We'll get back to this.
Yes. All right. So, all right. The Knobby Night.
at Speedway, and then shoot. Now I'm all thrown off. And then I had the Moore race last weekend as a spectator. So
Yeah.
good.
How was that?
Dude, that was fun. It was pretty hot, but it was fun. Good turnout, especially for being it so warm. And I took notes because I'm the nerd who loves to listen to the race radio, the race frequency, like the safety channel. And if you're ever out watching a desert race, I highly recommend getting on the channel and not transmitting, because you're going to get a lot more out of the race listening to what's going on. So they had a morning race and an afternoon race. Morning race was limited class. Afternoon race were the bigger cars. So this is just from the morning race, what I jotted down. 1651, rollover at mile 4.5, back on its wheels. Spectators on course, mile 25. UTV on its side, mile 13. Car 1103, rollover, race mile 13. Car 918, rollover at race mile 29. Car 1175, blown transmission at race mile 35, stuck on course, causing bottleneck. Car 572, rolled over at mile 3. Car 111, flat rear tire, broken wheel, missing wheel. 1192, out at mile 3. So this is just the stuff you get listening to the radio.
There was a lot of carnage at mile 3.
I was right at the end of the pits, and I guess everybody got froggy. So
dang. Wow.
But yeah, It was fun, man. And I met up with my friends, Lance and Larry and Miles out there. I just knew that they were going to be out there. And so what was so funny was at one point, I'm like, all right, I'd been in the same spot for a while, and I kind of knew where they were at in the Johnson Valley Desert. So I'm like, I'll go find them. And it was like out of a movie, because they have this one road called Camp Rock Road, which is a totally graded, it's like 4 lanes wide, beautiful, fast road. I mean, you shouldn't, but you can easily do 100 miles an hour on this road in your Volvo, So I'm coming down the straightaway, and I see this van just absolutely hauling ass around the blind corner, and they're just wicked on in this E250. I'm like, look at those guys. Oh, wait, that's Larry and Lance. So that was my guys. So it was just meant to be. But yeah, we had a great time. I know I wanted to stay to the very end, and I got pretty close, but at one point I was out of water and food and libations. So I cut my losses, and I left about 5 o'clock. So I almost made it to the end.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. That is rad. A lot of fun, sounds like.
Yeah, it was a good time. So especially with there only being 5 races on the calendar this year, got to enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. Got to soak it up while you can, for sure. So, yeah, man, let me see. I leave tomorrow. I got in last night. I leave tomorrow morning early. Got to be in Sacramento tomorrow afternoon for the American Flat Track legendary Sacramento Mile.
Yeah.
Thank God they're running it earlier this year. So hopefully it won't be 106.
Yeah, hopefully a little breezy and not in the triple digits.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, well last weekend was Ventura flat track,
Yeah, yeah,
and I know you obviously you couldn't go. You had big Red Bull stuff going on the other side of the country, and I was sad that you weren't at Ventura because obviously I would have gone to meet you up there.
right.
However, they had a totally sold out crowd, and like there was standing room only to the point where Ventura Raceway was like, "This is crazy! Look how many people are here!" So, golf clap to American Flat Track.
Yeah, they packed the place. I talked to a couple of people, and I guess it was pretty nuts. So yeah, that's crazy. But I will be at Sacramento this weekend.
Sweet.
Um, so I'm looking forward to that. And then actually I'm home for a few days, like 3, and then we're off to where it all started for Along for the Ride, Gallup, New Mexico, for the Kicker Monster Truck Nationals. Um, and then we got a little time off. I'm going to try and get some boating in, get a house painted, do a couple things, maybe cut my fingernails, maybe get a haircut. I don't know.
Yeah, but I know you. Something's going to come up motorsports wise, and some dates will get filled. So
That can always
you
happen.
can lie to yourself. Can't lie to me.
Well, and hopefully, as we move along, we've got a bunch of good guests coming, and I think we're right on about time frame to call it. Um, man, Cole, parting statements.
Um, Summer is good because boats. No, I don't know.
Thank you, Kicker Performance Audio, for
All
your
right, let's try that
marine.
again. Let's try that again.
I liked it.
All right, we'll keep it then.
It's that dry. There, I get a lot of comments about that
I just
dry
have. I
stuff.
mean, I'm just so off the. I don't know. I'm not ready for it. So
Dude, it's like the beach is just like the ocean is like desert racing, but with water.
the lake is like an ocean without the politics.
Yeah, that one was a good one. So yeah, as I was getting ready to get on the road tomorrow, I want to do a special shout out to my man BC Vaught. Just went through a pretty scary health scare. Dude, I love you. I'm glad you're there. Glad you're okay. Um, Thank you for the help with the Greenball Towmaster tires that are on my trailer that are lasting unbelievably well. But BC, we love you. Serious prayers of speedy recovery, my dude. Um, and of course, special shout out to Jeremy over at Trailers Direct of Springfield. Um, Dude, I greased those bushings because you made it easy to do. Thank you so much. And of course, Kicker Performance Audio, Stillwater, Oklahoma's very own Stillwater Designs / Kicker Audio since 1973.
They got some new stuff, so make sure to check out that website.
Oh yeah, did you see that?
I was drooling over it.
Yeah.
I even commented on your post about it.
New super compact self-powered subwoofer in a box. Pretty impressive. I can't wait to get my hands on one and try it out. So yeah, check them out. Kicker.com. Of course, Bomber Eyewear, Bomber Floating Eyewear, Bomber Safety Eyewear. They've got you covered on all bases, all styles, all colors, polarized, not polarized, mirrored lenses, dark smoke lenses, clear lenses, amber lenses, rose colored lenses, whatever you need. BomberEyewear.com. Kelsey Morel Film. Find her on Instagram at Kelsey Morel Film. She will be available and open to do your video and film editing, production, music editing, whatever you need. Look her up, drop her a message at Kelsey Morel Film. She also puts our podcast, Ugly Mugs, on in it. Where do we put them? YouTube.
On youtube.com.
YouTube.com. Mad Dog Media, MADDOG MEDIA. And of course, our boy Cole Farrell. I could not make any of this happen. He makes it all happen. I do the dumb part where I just flap my lips, and Cole makes the magic with the buttons and the things and the stuffs. So
Well, you also fly across the country to make content, so
I do what
we'll
I
call
can.
it even.
He also has the Premix Podcast. Find him on Instagram at the Premix Podcast, sharing his passion for all things desert racing, all things desert, and moto. Check him out on Instagram. Give him a follow, give him a like, drop him a message, have him get some pictures of your race car in action at the Premix Podcast. That's the at symbol, ThePremixPodcast on Insta. Hit him up. Also, he does motorsports MC work and event MC work and is pretty good at it. Pretty damn good at it, I would say.
Oh, thank you.
Give him a hit. I know he's getting some stuff booked, so if you want to get him on your schedule, get that smart ass personality on your stage, you need it. Let me tell you, it's nothing but fun. With that, Cole, parting statement one more time.
Like a different one?
Sure.
Support local racing.
I like it.
All right.
Well done.
Thank you.
I think we have to do an episode after this that recaps Super Cat Fest West, don't we?
Yeah, we didn't even talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. I knew we skipped it somewhere. I thought maybe we did an after show, but speaking of which, there'll probably be an after show with maybe even some bloopers from this very episode. Thank you for being along for the ride. Episode 37. Thank you for helping us hit an incredible milestone of well over 1,000 downloads in just over 30 episodes. We love you. Cole, do your speech about the subscribe thing because you're so doggone good at it.
Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or your favorite streaming platform.
Dang, that's good. Mad Dog out.